During a year that was especially tough for Michigan companies came good news. Two businesses honored for their work increasing U.S. exports. And today, we're sharing their key advice. Ready Rock International and Foster Swift Law Firm were among just 39 businesses in the country honored in 2020 by the President and the U.S. Secretary of Commerce for making major contributions to the country's exports and export services. These achievements support the U.S. economy and create American jobs. I'm joined today by attorney Jean Stokel of Foster Swift. Jean, thanks so much for joining us and congratulations on such a big honor.
Thank you. We really are honored by that award. It's special to us. We've been working for years to get Michigan companies rolling on the export train, and it's great to see success here in Michigan.
Absolutely. So, Jean, for companies that are maybe just getting started in exporting, what is the best tip that you can provide to ensure success?
Sure. So for companies, the important thing is dollars in the door, really, and to get from contact, a foreign a contact that might be interested in your product or service, to contract. The key is really doing due diligence. For all of the companies that are new to export, it's key from a legal perspective too, to do due diligence on your foreign trade partner, do due diligence on the foreign country that you've selected to trade with, and do some due diligence on the local laws that will affect the contract that you have in place.
What is the most common legal mistake that new exporters make?
Well, there are a couple. One of them is to not take into account that in the United States, exporting is a privilege, it's not a right. So companies really have to understand US law behind the ability to export for very many different reasons. One of them primarily being national security, but also our position on human rights around the globe. Because of regional stability, the United States does regulate exports, and some things and some technology and some services require companies to get an approval or a license from the US government before exporting. So exports can be physical things like we all think about, a product leaving the country and crossing the border, but also technology can be controlled. And that's a really dicey thing for companies to deal with because anybody that has a computer at your company can be an exporter. When they press that send button, if they're sending export control technology, you might require a license. So that's one of the big issues. The other top issue, I guess I would say, is not having a formal written contract in place. These handshake deals just don't serve a company's best purpose.
Jean, I know you work with many kind of partner agencies when you're working on export services. Can you provide some resources that might be helpful?
Oh, absolutely. Including on this issue that we just talked about, Julie, of due diligence. So they're great resources, both from the federal government and from the state of Michigan. One great one for due diligence on foreign companies, foreign business partners. So that could include maybe a foreign agent or distributor that a Michigan company wants to use, or a foreign customer is the US Department of Commerce. So you can order international company profiles and get something like a D&B, a background on that company, including financial information and other things. There's a small charge for that from the US Commerce Department, but for small to medium-sized businesses, it's really worth it for peace of mind and assurance down the road, and to understand who it is that you're dealing with. Lots of other great resources too for background about countries. Michigan State University's International Business Center is terrific. They have a great website called Global Edge. The CIA World Factbook is on that website. Our firm, through a partnership with some international firms that we're involved with, have included summaries of foreign laws that would affect US companies when they're engaging foreign agents and distributors abroad. So lots of good information on that website. All of the US government websites are really very good if you're trying to figure out if your company might need an export license before exporting the product abroad. And we'll certainly provide a nice resource sheet to you, Julie, so that if companies need that, there'll be links there for all of those agencies and other appropriate nonprofit organizations that can help too. Because for US companies, one of the other laws that's out there is a law on anti-bribery and corruption. And the World Bank, Transparency International also have corruption indexes for countries. And that's an important thing to take into account when you're doing business internationally.
A lot of support, a lot of resources. Jean, thank you so much for this information. We will definitely link to all of this on our website for you. For those resources, just head to WLAJ.com/expertconnections and click the link for Legal Connections.